Welcome to our monthly question and answer session. Please start with the first question.
Question number 1. How to contemplate on the 32 parts? Do we keep repeating the 32 parts, or do we think about the hair that turns from black to gray?
Well, contemplation of the 32 parts of the body is really studying the body, get to know the body inside and outside, know the composition, the makeup of the body, such as the 32 parts. So you have to know what the hair looks like, where it stands, the hair of the head, hair of the body, nail, teeth, skin, flesh, bones, and all the organs. First you might recite the name first. Once you can remember the 32 names, then you might visualize each name until it becomes embedded in your mind. Just like the picture of people is embedded in your mind. When you think of people that you have seen, you know exactly what they look like. But the problem is you only know the outside of the body. You don't see the inside of the body. In Buddhism, we want you to see both outside and inside, so that your perception of the body will be balanced, not upside down, or not proper, not right. Yeah. So that you will not be deluded by your perception. If you only see the outside part of the body, you can be deluded, be deceived to think that the body is beautiful, attractive. But if you look inside the other part, inside the body, then you can see that it's not really attractive at all. So this is the purpose of contemplation of the 32 parts of the body, so that you can get the true fact, true knowledge of the body, what it is actually.
Question number 2 from Suresh, India. What practice that we have to do so that we can cease the immoral sexual attachment?
Can you repeat the question again?
What practice that we have to do so that we can cease the immoral sexual attachment?
Just the contemplation of the body, the 32 parts. See the unattractive part of the body. Then your attachment to the body will be eliminated.
Question number 3 from Elizabeth, Norway. In my meditation, the experience of clear light is associated with a high level of bliss, but a lot of forest Ajahn seem to recommend to let go of the light in meditation. Can Ajahn please give advice?
Because sometimes this light can appear and sometimes it doesn't appear. So it's not the object of our meditation. The object of our meditation, of the goal of our meditation is calm, peace of mind, which will always appear if you practice properly. If you can concentrate your mind, keep your mind being focused on one object, such as your breath, your mind will gradually become calmer and peaceful, more peaceful, until it can become completely calm and peaceful. Sometimes you might experience some light, sometimes you don't. So don't forget that the light is not the goal you want. The goal you want is the peace of mind, which will always appear, will always happen. But the light, sometimes it might appear and sometimes it might not. If you use the light of your object, you might be disappointed when it doesn't appear.
Question number 4. Is the state of samadhi panya the same like having a glimpse of the state of vichara?
No. See, samadhi is calm, while panya is wisdom or enlightenment. They are two separate things. Calm you can get by focusing your mind on one object, such as your breath. Why enlightenment, you have to see that things are impermanent, that they can cause suffering if you are attached to them, that they don't really belong to you. And when you see this and you let go of everything, then you become enlightened. And that's wisdom or panya.
Question number 5. According to the suttas, the jhana factors include piti and sukha. How do you define these factors?
Piti probably means rapture. Sukha means happiness. So you might have this as you focus your mind. When your mind becomes calmer and calmer, these things will happen and then it will disappear. When the mind becomes completely calm, then all that is left is ubekkha, which is equanimity. The mind remain neutral. The mind doesn't react to anything that it comes into contact with. It will just remain knowing, with no reaction, no emotional reaction, and have a different kind of happiness. This is a happiness that arises from when the mind becomes completely calm.
Question number 6 from Theo, Malaysia. What is vitakka, vichara, piti, rapture and sukha in meditation?
Well, I think you can look up in Google really. Yeah. So, from what I understand, vitakka is vitakka, vijan is using your thoughts. Vitok, vijan in Thai. Vitok, vitakka means to think of something, like think of your breath. It's vitok. Vijan is to know whether your breath is in or out. Yeah. So they go together, vitok, vijan. When you contemplate, when you focus on your breathing, you are using vitok, vijan. When you know your breath, you are vitok. When you know that your breath is in or out, then this is vijan.
Question number 7. As the mind will be the one that stays on after the body breaks apart, can we say that the mind is mine?
You can say anything, but it don't change anything. The mind is what it is. So it doesn't matter what label you put to it. It's not important. What is important is to have to make your mind happy and not sad. That's really the problem. The problem is not how you want to call your mind. You can call it the spirit. You can call it a ghost. You can call it anything. They are just labels to indicate what the mind is. That's all. So that you can communicate with other people. But it doesn't change anything. If the mind is still sad, it will sad regardless of what label you put on it. If the mind is happy, it will be happy regardless of what label you put upon the mind. So it's not the label that you should be concerned with. It's whether you can make it happy all the time or not.
And as Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara and Vijnana come from mind, are those also mind?
No, they are function of the mind. They are like the servants of the mind. They serve the mind when the mind has to use the body. When the mind wants to use the body, then they use the 4 namakhandas. The mind uses the 4 namakhanda to connect to the body. Then use the body to bring it happiness. But this kind of getting happiness has drawback because besides happiness, you also get unhappiness or sadness. When you lose the thing that you have, when the happiness that you have disappear, then sadness will appear. So this is not the right way, a good way to find happiness. The right way is to make the mind calm and peaceful and let go of everything.
Question number 9 from Deborah. During my walking meditation, I realized that I had a strong craving to be popular in my job. I wanted all my students to love me and join my group. Is this kama tanha or bhava tanha? And what is the antidote for this type of craving?
This is bhava tanha. the craving for being popular, being loved. And the antidote is to realize, to see that this thing is impermanent. The thing that you want is impermanent. People might love you, and then one day they might hate you. If something happens, something change. So you have to look at the impermanence of everything, of the things that you desire for. Once you see, and then you see the hurt the impermanence will cause you, then you will not then will have any craving for them.
Question number 10. What is the difference between Vijnana and Citta?
Vijnana has two meanings. Vijnana in the Nama Khanda is the one that connect the mind to the body, what you call the central doors. The Vijnana that connects to the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body, so that the sight, sound, smell, taste, and tactile object can be delivered to the mind through this Vijnana. This is a channel that connects the mind to the body. The mind also has another name called Vijnana. When the mind is separated from the body, after the body dies, then the mind is called Vijnana, or spiritual being. So Vijnana has two meanings. Vijnana in the Nama Khanda, and Vijnana as the mind itself after the body is dead.
Question number 11. What is consciousness and why is it anatta?
Well, consciousness is an English word to denote something that knows, such as the mind. Yeah. And anatta means that there is no self. It's a natural process, not a self, not like something that we think of. If we think of our body is a self, but even the body, if you study and investigate, you'll find it's just a natural process composed of the four elements. The mind is a natural process called the knowing element, the consciousness. It is not a self, but it can think that it is a self. The mind thinks that itself is the self, but it's just thinking, it's not real. Because in real, there's no self in this entire world, both the physical and spiritual world. You will never find a self, because there is no such thing as a self. A self is just a concept created by the delusion of the mind itself.
Question number 12 from François, France. Is consciousness the awareness?
Same thing, yes. It's just a matter of terminology you use. Knowing, consciousness, awareness, it refers to the one who knows, who thinks, which is the mind.
Question number 13 from Shia. Does a person's ignorance or wisdom lie in the consciousness aggregate?
It lies in the mind itself, not the consciousness aggregate. It is embedded in the mind, called Avijja. Avijja is the one that stimulates the action of the four nama, or the mental aggregates, into action.
Question number 14. If reciting Buddha doesn't help me to stop thinking, should I get up from my sitting meditation and listen to Dhamma talks, or should I force myself to continue to recite Buddha?
You can try both ways. If you can force yourself to continue to recite and it still doesn't make any difference, then you might want to get up and develop more mindfulness first. It means you don't have enough mindfulness. Mindfulness should be developed all the time, not just during meditation. You should try to recite Buddha from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep. Only stop reciting when you have to use your thoughts for something important, such as your work. But if you don't have to use your thought, then you should stop it from thinking about other things. By reciting Buddha, Buddha, when you do things that you don't need to think, such as walking, standing, sitting, doing some routine chore like bathing, brushing your teeth, combing your hair, dressing up, eating, you should then use Buddha to stop your mind from thinking aimlessly.
Question number 15. I get stressed out at work because I always want to get everything done properly. How to make my mind calm during work?
You just have to be reasonable, that's all. You only have 2 hands and you only have 8 hours to work, so you can only do so much. So just try to look at the possibility, look at the possible. Don't look at the impossible. If you look at the impossible, then you become stressed out because you are trying to do more than what you can do. So do what you can and accept that this is the limit of your ability. So what? We are not Superman. Don't be Superman. It doesn't matter. Being Superman doesn't make you any happier anyway. Getting more money, getting more work done doesn't make you any more happy. In fact, real happiness is not to do anything.
Question number 16 from Lee, Malaysia. Do we have to do anapanasati meditation first before we can achieve samadhi?
Well, anapanasati is the means to have samadhi. You need to sit down and focus your mind on your breath to stop thinking. Because when the mind stops thinking, then the mind will become united into one, not scattered by the thoughts. When the mind becomes united, we call samadhi. It becomes calm, peaceful, and happy.
Question number 17. How do we know when we achieve samadhi during meditation?
It's like when you eat, you know when you become full. You don't have to ask your wife or your husband, am I full yet, honey? Yeah. You know. So when your mind becomes calm and happy, you know, oh, I'm happy, I'm calm. You don't need to ask anybody.
Question number 18. In Hinduism, the Atman is said to be permanent and it takes endless rebirth until it reaches nirvana. Is Atman the same as the Citta in Buddhism?
Yes, it's the same thing, but the interpretation of the Citta differs from religion to religion. Christianity refers to the Citta as God. Hinduism refers to as the Atman, but it is the same thing. It's the mind.
Question number 19 from Adeline, Malaysia. When I meditate, my mind is calm and I am aware of the calm mind. When a thought seeps into the mind, who is the one that thinks as the mind is already calm?
When you think, it means it's not calm already. So you have to use mindfulness to stop thinking. See, when you are calm, you can become calm just quick, briefly or long, depends on the strength of your mindfulness. Sometimes you can be calm just for a few seconds, then you start to think again. Then you need to focus your mind on your meditation object again to stop it from thinking. So you have to keep doing this until eventually your mind can become calm or longer and longer. When you first started, your calm will be very short, very brief. We call Kanika Samadhi, briefly. But after you will develop more mindfulness, you sit more, you sit longer, then your mind can become calm longer. Then we call Appana Samadhi.
Question number 20 from Sammy. When I was practicing Vipassana from Goenka, I had a lot of insight and mindfulness. But when I started Samatha meditation 3 years ago, my meditation is going downhill. Should I go back to Vipassana or should I persist in Samatha?
That's your choice to make. But if you ask me, I would say you have to start at Samatha first, before you can go to Vipassana. Because the Vipassana that you develop without Samatha will be fake Vipassana, not real Vipassana. it will not be able to get rid of your defilement and get rid of all your dukkha or suffering. First you need to develop samatha, because samatha is the strength of the mind. The power of the mind is in samatha. The strength to stop your defilement is in samatha, not in vipassana. Vipassana only tell you why you should stop your defilement. But if you have no strength to stop your defilement, even you know that it is not good to let your defilement do what it wants to do, you will not be able to stop it from doing. So you need to first develop samatha before you can go up to vipassana. The reason why your meditation is going downhill because you have to restart your meditation, and the advance that you get from your vipassana are not real advance. It might seem that your mind is better, but it's just not real, that's all. If it's real, it should remain even if you restart your meditation.
Question number 21 from Jessica. Why a person who has loving kindness and compassion is easy to be taken advantage of by others?
Because they are dumb, they're not smart. Being compassionate and kind doesn't mean you have to be dumb at the same time. You have to be compassionate and dumb and smart and wise at the same time. So you have to know how much you have to dispense with your kindness and your compassion, and to whom you have to use wisdom. You have to have the ability to judge the people that you are dealing with, whether they worth the compassion and the kindness you give them or not. See? So you need wisdom or panya along with your loving kindness and compassion.
And how to overcome the mindset of not wanting to be easily taken advantage of based on the teaching of the Buddha.
That's why you have to know how to help people. If you think you have been taken advantage of, then you should stop, that's all. Help those people who really need help. Those who don't really need help don't need to help them.
Question number 23 from Johannes. Last year when I started Anapanasati and attended Goenka retreat, I was very happy. My clinging towards my family, my money and business reduced substantially. As my business grows well this year, I am not as happy as before because I cling back more towards my family and the business. I still meditate and listen to Dhamma talk every day. What is Ajahn suggestion so that I can cling less and eventually terminate the clinging permanently?
You just have to practice more. The more you practice, the more you will let go. The less you practice, the more you become attached to things that you have. See, previously when you went to practice, you can let go, but when you come back and work, then you start to become attached to what you have. So you have to go practice more in order to be able to let go of your attachment.
Question number 24. How to politely ignore answering when someone asks sensitive questions?
Just act dumb, act as if you could not hear what they say, or just don't reply, or talk about something else. Talk about the weather, talk about whatever, if you don't want to reply what they ask you.
Question number 25 from Katrina, Australia. I have realized lately how much I care about things in my life. I would like to be more accepting and grateful. Do you have any advice on how to do this?
Just accept things as they come. The Buddha is saying, small is beautiful. Just have enough to exist. It's all you need. So if you have less expectation, less craving, less desire, then you can become more accepting to the things that you get or what you have.
Question number 26. How can I stay happy having to face personal problem like being childless in a family where all other relatives have many children?
Well, you can look at the pros and cons of having children. Having children, it means another mouth to feed, someone else you have to look after, more expenses, more problem, more worries, more anxiety, all sort of, emotional downside will happen in your mind. If no child, then no problem, no expense, nothing to worry about, nobody to worry about. So try to use common sense. Don't use your craving. If you use your craving will tell you, oh, you're no good, you have no child, you have no happiness. But if you look at the real thing, you see having a child, is it really happiness or is really a burden, a source of suffering? If you use common sense, use wisdom or whatever you call it, then you can see the pros and cons of having a child and not having a child.
And is being childless due to past karma?
It has many factors. So don't worry about what makes you childless. Just try to know how to live with your being childless and be happy. That's more important.
Question number 28. Is it okay to avoid family members and relatives as I feel depressed for having to continue to disagree with them?
Can you please?
Okay. Is it okay to avoid family members and relatives as I feel depressed for having to continue to disagree with them?
Well, it depends whether you have to meet them or not. If you don't have to meet them, then you can avoid them. But if you have to meet them, sometimes you just have to force yourself to meet them with a calm mind and just don't expect anything from them. Just let them say and let them do whatever they want to say and do. You just try to be nice, smile to them, say nice things to them until the time appropriate to separate from them, then you just separate. So because you still live together, you have to maintain a good relationship. So try to use metta when you have to meet people. Smile at them, say nice things to them. Don't say anything bad. If you don't like what you hear, just stop listening by reciting a mantra in your mind, Bhutto, 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 and then let them say whatever they want to say, and you won't be hearing what they say if you keep reciting Bhutto, Bhutto. And until when they stop, then you can then stop reciting and just say, enough, do you have enough to say? Okay, just don't react negatively when you meet people. Try to be calm or be non-reactive, just to be hearing, be listening to what they say. But you don't have to take their words for it. Whatever they say, just words. Just don't pay attention. Don't be emotionally involved with what you hear.
Question number 29 from Robin, Singapore. Is the benefit for the donor the same when he gives dana to a family member who is a layperson Sotapanna versus gives dana to a monk Sotapanna?
Giving to anybody, whether they are enlightened or not, has no bearings on the benefit for the donor. The thing that has bearings on the donor is the amount of giving. The more you give, the more benefit you get. The less you give, the less benefit you get. It's not the receiver who determines the benefits of your giving. It's the amount of money, the amount of things that you give away that will decide the benefit that you get.
Question number 30. For a layperson who is a Sotapanna and who does not declare it to anyone but still stay with his family, when his friends or family mistreated him, in verbal or physical, does that bring harm to the family members and friends?
Well, if they're mistreated, then they will be harmed if they have been hit by someone. So it doesn't matter whether you are enlightened or not enlightened. Your body will be affected by whatever is done to the body. It doesn't matter whether your mind is enlightened or not enlightened. It doesn't change the fact of the body. The body will just have to bear the result of having a body. If somebody don't like you, they will hit your body, they will hurt your body, but they cannot hurt your mind. If you are an enlightened mind, you can forgive them for what they do.
Question from Robin. If a lay person has made multiple vows to return to samsara after his passing, does that mean that should he has achieved Arahant in this life, he will still come back to become human because of his vows?
No, because once you don't return, regardless of many vows you make. Vows doesn't have the power to bring the enlightened mind to return to rebirth anymore. So don't worry about what you have vowed in the past. Vow is only a mean to let you do what that you never do before. If you don't make a vow, then you don't feel responsible. You don't have to commit yourself to do things. But once you make a vow, then you have to commit yourself to do it. That's all. But if you don't reborn, then there's nothing for you to do. So your vow cannot bring you to return to rebirth again.
And he has one question. I find it difficult to focus in my daily activity all the time. From the time I get up to the time I go to sleep. Can you please explain to me how to do it step by step?
Well, you need to get yourself away from all kinds of activities. So then you will be free to focus on the present, on your mantra, on your mindfulness. But if you have to engage with people and activities, then you cannot focus on your mindfulness. So you have to find time to be alone in order to be able to develop stronger mindfulness. So that then later on you can focus even when you have to engage with other people or things. But right now you don't have the strength of mind to focus on mindfulness or being mindful. So what you need to do is to have time alone by yourself. That's why the Buddha set up what you call day of observance or one pra. This is the day he wants you to stop working and wants you to go stay in the temple and be alone or be with people who do practice the same thing, which is mindfulness. So if you can somehow get yourself to a retreat, then you will be able to develop stronger mindfulness. Then when you have stronger mindfulness, then you can focus while you are engaged with other people or things.
I want to ask how to make balance.
How to make what?
Balance between studying on Dhamma and practice.
I don't understand your question. Can you speak?
Loud.
Loud and clear.
Okay. I'm practicing Dhamma and also studying Dhamma. Sometimes it's difficult to make balance between studying on Dhamma and practice. And I want to ask, how can I make balance between them?
Balance? Well, first you have to study first. Before you can practice, you have to know what to do. Once you know what to do, then you go do it. So there's no real balance here. It's a matter of steps. First step is to study what you have to do. Like when you go to work for a company, before you can work, they have to train or tell you first what they want you to do. Once you know, then you do what they tell them you to do. It's the same way with Buddhism. If you want to achieve the result from Buddhism, you have to first study what you have to do. Once you know what you have to do, then you start doing it. The Buddha said first you have to practice charity. You have to be generous, be charitable. Don't cling to your money without any reason. You should cling for some important thing. But if you have more than what you need, you should give them away. So this is charity. Second, you have to keep the precepts to maintain a life that is free of problem. You have to first start with keeping the 5 precepts. And once you can keep the 5 precepts, if you want to advance to the next step, you have to keep the 8 precepts. Because if you can keep the 8 precepts, then you would have the time to go meditate. So this is the step that you have to do and learn. First you learn how to do it. Once you know how to do it, then you apply it in your practice by doing it. By giving money to charity, instead of giving money to buy things you never need, you don't have to have. Spend the money wisely by helping other people, rather than buying something just to make you feel good for a few hours. And keep the precept. Don't kill, don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal, don't commit adultery, have sexual misconduct. Understand?
Yes, and I have one more question.
Okay.
Buddha encouraged to have a commitment and virya. And in the beginning of practice, I wonder how to have the commitment, and for me it's a little bit
well, you have
difficult
to
have
commit yourself to
commitment.
what you can do firstly. Don't commit yourself to do something that you cannot do. So the first step, the easiest step, is to commit yourself to do charity. Because I think everyone can afford to do charity. You don't have to even use money if you don't have money. You can dedicate your free time for charity, like working for some charitable organization for free, as a volunteer. So commit yourself to whatever you can commit yourself to, not more than what you can commit. And then as you move along, you'll find that you can commit more, then you increase your commitment. And eventually you might be able to have 100% commitment to the practice of the Buddha's teaching. But when you start, you might have start from 5%, 10%, 20%, gradually moving up to 100% eventually. Okay?
ขอบคุณค่ะ
Ajahn just mentioned about the 8 precepts, and I want to ask about not eating afternoon, because I'm studying nursing and it's a physical labor job, and sometimes I need to work until very late. So I heard some people say that as long as you have a fixed time and you don't indulge in the desire of eating, it's okay if you eat afternoon time. So I want to ask Ajahn how to deal with this.
Well, 8 precept is more for people who doesn't have to work. People who go to meditation retreat, then they can keep the 8 precept easily. So if you're still working and you find that you cannot keep the 6th precept, then you just skip it. Keep the other precepts. But if you want to have full 8 precepts, then you should be doing it while you're not working. when you're in a meditation retreat, then you don't need much energy, you don't need much food. In fact, too much food can be a hindrance to your meditation practice.
Thank you.
Okay. So do we have anybody who likes to ask any question? Please wait for the microphone.
Yeah. Just stop. Ajahn, I have been meditating in my own house for about a couple of years, and then I think I have experienced some small amount of progress, but sometimes I get really angry with my boss, and I feel like quitting my job many times. So I don't know.
You get pretty angry at your boss, and then what you say after that?
I just get angry.
I cannot hear you. Here, speak close to the microphone.
I get angry, and then I think my solution is just walk away, but it's not the solution.
No,
it's a teaching, very stressful.
You need mindfulness to be able to catch your anger. If you are mindful, as soon as you become angry, you can stop it. So what you should need to do is develop more mindfulness.
When it comes to actual interactions with the principal and other people, I show very little anger. I'm always, resolved and always courteous, but I get angry only when I get back home.
Well, anger doesn't happen all the time. It only happens at the time when it comes into conflict with your interest. Whenever you want something and you cannot get it, or when you have to get something that you don't want, then you can get angry. So to be able to get rid of anger is to have to train your mind to accept things as they come. Whatever happens, let it happen. Don't expect. When you expect and then you don't get what you expect, then you can get angry.
Other teachers are angry too, but they think they just change schools. That's the way it is, but I don't feel like changing school. I like my students, I like my colleagues, and I don't want to give in.
If you don't want to change, then you have to change yourself. You change your mind. You have to adapt to the existing conditions. Don't try to change the conditions around you. It's easier to change your mind, to adapt to the conditions around you.
Would a metta bhavana be a little bit helpful?
Well, metta, you have to understand, the meaning of metta is to have love toward other people. So if you love somebody, you will not get angry at them. You will tolerate and you can forgive them for what they do. So this is what you have to develop, to be tolerant of other people's action.
Yes,
and let them be, and accept them for what they are. This is what being metta is. To love them, not to hate them.
It's hard. The mindfulness meditation is something I'm pretty good at, and I can meditate.
Yeah, mindfulness is a temporary solution that will lead you to the permanent solution. First, you need to use mindfulness to solve your problem temporarily. Once you can manage your problem, then you go to the root of your problem, which is your desire, your cravings for things and people to be what you want them to be.
Yes, yes.
Then you have to teach your mind that this is not possible. People are what they are. You cannot just change them or expect them to be like what you want them to be.
Yes, yes.
Once you understand this, then you won't get angry at anybody.
So it seems that I've got to take their rating. The rating is very harsh every year to almost everyone. Some teachers take it quite easy, but it's very difficult for me to take it.
Yeah, that's because your mind has a lot of desire or cravings that
for good rating.
Yeah, right. You haven't tamed your desire, so you should need to use mindfulness to enable your mind to meditate, to calm yourself. Once your mind becomes calm, then your desire and craving will diminish, and even maybe disappear entirely.
I will try, Ajahn.
Yeah, try to meditate.
I will try.
Try to calm your mind.
Thank
then
you.
you can curb your desire and your cravings. All right? Okay, the lady behind you.
Ajahn, I've been dealing with wondering, other than more mindfulness and less delusion, what are the kilesas that are constantly projecting a mind into the future, doing things in the future or dreaming things in the future?
That's because you haven't trained your mind to live in the present. Yeah. That's the same thing. Your mind likes to project itself toward the future, which sometimes is good, you need to, but you have to have the parameters to curb your projection, not to go too far away. The Buddha said you should always reflect about the future of your body, aging, sickness, and death. Yeah. This kind of projection is good because it can tame and calm your mind, curb your desire, curb your ambition, which makes your mind become restless and agitated. Once you know, well, eventually you're going to get old, get sick, and die, why being so ambitious for? Whatever you get, sooner or later you're going to lose it anyway. This you can think like that in that term. But just to project about the uncertainty of things in the future, what's going to happen to me, what's going to happen to this or that person, this is not the right kind of projection. If you want to project according to the truth. The truth is the future, no one can predict what's going to happen. I mean, there are things you can predict and there are things you cannot predict. The things you can predict are such as your body. Your body is going to get old, get sick, and die. But how or when or where, this is something you cannot predict. So something that you cannot predict, then just don't worry about it. And the best way is to do a lot of meditation. When you meditate, you stop your mind from thinking, from projecting, even the past or the future. Then you will learn to live in the present. Take things as one step at a time. You are here right now. Just try to enjoy it. Try to make the best of it. Don't worry about tomorrow. Because if you can do today, you can do it also tomorrow. Because happiness doesn't rely on what you get or what you have. Happiness relies on how you can tame your mind to be calm under all circumstances. Whether you gain or lose, whether you're sick or not sick, you should try to be calm regardless of the surrounding conditions. If you can do this, you can always be happy. So that's the goal of Buddhism, to train your mind to become calm and letting go of everything, not attached to anything, because you know things come and go. You cannot attach to anything. When they go, you will become sad. So just say things as they come with a calm mind. So you need to do a lot of meditation to be able to maintain this mind to be calm and accepting. All right? Okay.
First question, what is the meaning of anatta or non-self?
Anatta, just like the translation, no self. Atta means self, anatta means no self. Such as there's no self in the cell phone, right? In your camera or your anything that you have, there's no self in them. There's no self in the house. There's no self in the car. There's no self in the shirt, in your everything, including your body. See, but somehow our delusion think that there is a self, there is a me in this body. When in fact the me is just the one who thinks. The one who thinks is the mind. The mind can think and can feel and can know. And the mind somehow think the body is a self. That's all. It's just a concept. In truth, there is no self. The body is just like the telephone, your handphone. It's a product. It's made from material. The body is also made from material, made from food that you eat. They are all material. The rice you eat, the vegetable you eat, the meat you eat, they all come and transform to become your 32 parts, become your hair of the body, hair of the head, become nails, skin, teeth, bones, and everything else in the body. So if you investigate the body, you only find the 32 parts. You don't find yourself in these 32 parts.
The second question, if there is no self, then what is reborn?
The mind who thinks that it is a self. The mind is the one who thinks, who feels, who knows. But even the mind is not a self. It's just another thing like the wind, like the star, like the rain. But the mind has a special quality that no other thing has. It has the ability to think, to know, and to feel. So this is the one that reborn by taking up a new body. The mind is like a driver, and the body is like an automobile. When you want to go somewhere, you need an automobile, so you buy a car. But after you use the car for a while, the car can get old and then can no longer be used. Then you change, you sell your old car and you buy a new car. But the driver is still the same person. When the body dies, the mind, which is the driver of the body, then go look for a new body. That's what we call reborn. When the mind get a new body, then the mind is reborn.
คำถามจากคุณสตีเฟนมอริส Hello พระอาจารย์
How are you, Stephen?
Hope you are well. My question is, can you reach Parinibbana if you are in one of the higher realms? Sadhu.
It depends on whether you're on the supramundane path yet or not. If you're still on the mundane, you cannot improve your practice. But once you become a noble one, like a Sotapanna, then your mind will keep continuing developing from Sotapanna to become a Sakidakami, Anakami, and Arahant, regardless of which realm of existence you exist. But if you're just an ordinary mind that hasn't yet see the Four Noble Truths, see the three characteristics of existence, then it will not be able to develop the mind to a higher state. It can only go and just experience the result of its good or bad karma. And when the karma that make it to go experience this result subside or ran out, then you will be reborn as a human being and start over again.
ครับเขาบอกว่า during my meditation when I always feel calm mind come with the ideas of my problem and I often tempt to explore more that ends to disruption. Does meditation help to make calm or generate idea?
Well, the true purpose of meditation is to stop your thinking, stop making plans, stop making ideas. Meditation purpose is to calm your mind, because when your mind becomes calm, you become happy. Then you don't have to do any planning, you don't have to create any idea. Because the whole purpose of do any planning or creating idea is to make you happy. So once you know how to make yourself happy by calming your mind, then there's no need to do anything else. All you have to do is keep calming your mind, and then you can be happy without having to create new ideas or do new things to make you happy. The real happiness, the true way to happiness is to stop your mind from thinking. That's what the purpose of meditation is for. So when you meditate, you should stop thinking. You should concentrate on something to stop you from thinking, such as a mantra, Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. Or if you don't like using the mantra, you can use your breath. Keep watching your breath, your in and out breath at one point at the tip of the nose. Don't think, just watch. Then your mind will become gradually, steadily calmer and calmer, and eventually fully calm. And you will experience the kind of happiness that you have never seen before.
Nirosha, I kindly request if you can briefly discuss the characteristics of jhana.
Jhana is concentration, mental concentration that you can achieve by concentrating on one mental object, such as your breath. You can watch your breath at the tip of your nose. Just keep watching and try not to think about other things except your breath. Once you become concentrating on your breath, then your mind will gradually become calmer and calmer. As far as the characteristics of each jhana, I cannot remember. I think you have to search from Google. Just search jhana and you'll find the answer. But how to get to jhana, you need to concentrate your mind on one particular object, such as your breath, or you can recite a mantra, such as Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. And if you can persist in doing it, and your mind gradually start to stop thinking about other things, your mind will gradually become calmer and calmer and happier, until it becomes totally calm and very happy.
คำถามจากชาวต่างชาติครับคุณแมท How can I concentrate my mind?
You need mindfulness. You need to learn to direct your mind to focus on one particular object during your waking hours, from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep. You can either concentrate your mind on a mantra as you do things that you don't need to think, such as when you are taking a bath, washing your face, brushing your teeth. And if your mind likes to go think about the past or about the future, then you should use a mantra to stop it from thinking. Or if you don't use a mantra, you can force your mind to watch what you're doing at the moment. If you're brushing your teeth, just concentrate on just brushing the teeth. Don't go think about other things. Whatever you do, just keep focused, keep watching what you do. Then you will have mindfulness. When you have mindfulness, when you sit and meditate, you can then tell your mind to watch your breath and not to think about other things. And if you persist and keep watching your breath without thinking, then your mind will become calmer gradually and eventually become fully calm and happy.
คำถามจากชาวต่างชาติครับ For beginner, how can I start meditation?
Just like the previous question, you have to develop mindfulness. You have to concentrate your mind on the present, in the present. Don't let your mind go think about the past or the future. Don't let your mind think about anything if possible. Just make the mind just be aware of what's going on and don't think about anything. In order to do this, you need to have time off. If you have to work, you have to use your thought. So if you want to learn how to stop thinking, you need to go to a meditation retreat. Then you don't have to think about anything except just maintaining your body. Then you don't have to think a lot. Then you can try to use mindfulness to stop your mind from thinking. When you have enough mindfulness, then you will have the ability to sit and meditate and focus your mind on one object such as your breath. If you can do this, then eventually your mind will stop thinking completely. Then your mind will become completely calm and happy.
Second question from Win. What are the steps to achieve nirvana?
The Buddha teaches us to practice the 3 steps of charity, morality, and meditation. Charity is to give up your money, give it to charity. Don't spend on your desire. Don't spend on your indulgence. Spend it on charity. And maintain the precept. Stop killing, stop lying, stop cheating, stop stealing, stop committing adultery or sexual misconduct, and stop drinking alcohol. Then the next step, you go to learn to meditate, stay in a meditation retreat, learn to develop mindfulness, learn to sit in meditation, and then try to develop wisdom so that you can see that everything in this world has 3 characteristics: impermanent, subjected to suffering, causing suffering, and doesn't belong to anybody. It belongs to nature. If you can develop all these things in your mind, then you will reach Nibbana.
From Yen, I often have a situation that when I do meditation and get deep in the meditation, I cannot get out of the meditation even though other people keep calling me to get out or try to make me to get out, but I still cannot get out. I still can feel and hear everything, but I just cannot move my body. What should I do if that happens again in the future?
Well, you first of all have to have the right understanding that the practice of meditation is to bring your mind inside. So you have to understand that once you meditate, then you don't expect to reply or react to people or things. If you do, then why meditate? Waste your time. You meditate, you want to go inside, to be separate from people and things, to be calm and be happy. So when you meditate, you have to ignore everything, everybody who wants to contact you. If not, then you should meditate. If you worry about connecting with other people, then meditation is not for you. Meditation is for you to be alone, to be not disturbed by other people. So if you meditate, then you have to know ahead that if somebody wants to connect with you, you will not be able to do so. Then you should tell them ahead of time that when you see me meditate, please don't bother me, leave me alone. Wait till I come out of my meditation, then they can reconnect with you. This is the purpose, to disconnect. When you meditate, you want to disconnect yourself from everything and everybody. Because when you connect with people or things, it can make you worry, can make you restless, agitated. But when you disconnect and your mind becomes peaceful and calm, then you will be happy. This is the way to bring your mind to true happiness, to real happiness. So you have to have the right understanding before you meditate. When you meditate, it's like going away, going to a place where no one can reach you. If you don't have this kind of understanding, then you will have problem. Because when you meditate, when you go inside, and people want to connect with you, you will not be able to connect with them.
จากคุณซูโยนอ นะฮะจากคุณซูโยโนะนะฮะ During my meditation I can hear two voices one voice say mantra Bhutto and other one say about anything to distract what is other voice so disturbing
because your mind still is not focused your mindfulness is not strong enough. So you have to force yourself to keep focus on just the mantra and ignore the other voice. You cannot stop them because your mind still can generate this other voice. But what you can do is try to force your mind to stay with the mantra. And the longer you can stay with the mantra, the stronger your mindfulness will be. And eventually the other voice will disappear. So don't pay attention to any other thing, even if they are not voices. Sometimes they can be images or any other thing. Just don't pay attention to them when they arise in your meditation. Just concentrate on your mantra alone. And eventually your mindfulness will become stronger and stronger. And all this other distraction will gradually fade away.
I was taught to do good thing in life, but meditation teach us only focus out about ourselves. Does doing a good thing without meditation is already good enough?
Well, see, meditation is for your enjoyment. Like when you go on a holiday, you go holiday for what? For your own pleasure, for your enjoyment. But meditation is better than going on a holiday because it costs nothing in the first place. You don't have to have money, like when you go on a holiday. Second, you don't have to worry about your body healthy or not healthy. You can do meditate in any state of the body. The body can be healthy, the body can be sick, and you can still find enjoyment, find pleasure, find happiness from meditation. So this is a better way of finding enjoyment for yourself. But this doesn't stop you from doing good things. When you're not meditating, you can do good things. If you want to help other people, you can help other people. If you want to make other people happy, you can still make them happy. Meditation doesn't exclude doing other good things. You can still continue on doing good things. Like the Buddha, after he had become enlightened and he had happiness in his mind, he still do other things to help other people by teaching Dhamma to other people. So meditation doesn't exclude your activity in helping other people or making other people happy. Is that all the questions? Well, thank you for all your questions. If my reply to you is not clear enough, please send in more questions and we'll do it again the next time, which is probably the next month. In the meantime, please keep on practicing and hopefully one day you all will become enlightened. Take care and be happy.